Okay, guys, we have two of our data engineers, Renato and Jaco from VendueTech. Today we are going to be sharing the latest status on our data engineering and AI pipelines. As you know, VendueTech has built a BitCell platform that is on a mission to centralize all of the European real estate auctions, public auctions. And for that reason, we need a large amount of data to train our AI models, LLMs, convert uh, unstructured data into structured data in order to um, inform our customers on a real-time basis with latest auctions and changes regarding the legal processes, also timelines, due dates, and other changing factors such as images of the properties um, and other documentation that is necessary to make a decision. So, yeah, Renato and Yakov, welcome to VendueTech webinar, update webinar. Maybe if you guys can introduce yourself briefly for those of
Sure.
us who didn't meet you before, and then yeah, we can dive deeper into the topic.
Yeah, perfect. Hi, my name is Renato Mutovjic. I actually have been on a webinar once before. I was presenting a previous stage of what we have now more or less completed. Well, what you're about to see, that is. Um, I am a AI engineer is my official title here in VendueTech, and I am in charge of this entire pipeline from start to finish, which would include web scrapers, its implementation into our pipeline. That includes Marker and AI LLM, which both reads those PDFs and HTMLs and receives and gives us a final JSON as an output, which I will show later.
Okay, and my name is Jakov Malic. I am a student at the University of Croatia, and I also work at VendueTech as an AI and data engineer, pretty much on the same exact projects that Renato is working on. We are a team of two that work on the same data and on the same pipelines and architectures. So everything
Awesome.
that he covered is also my field.
Awesome. And how would you guys describe what is our problem domains that we are working on? I mean, probably there are
Yeah,
a few of them.
yeah. Well, right now, when we began, our idea was originally to build a multimodal reg system, chatbot, right? And the original issue was the lack of data. This could have been fixed by just scraping the data from the website, but we were missing a lot more data from the documents themselves. And so we started thinking about how we can do this as a first step into the multimodal reg, and we realized that this is better to make this a separate project, which it is now what we call the universal scraper. We added this name to it to sound more interesting. And so as it evolved, it changed in multiple stages. It began as a very complicated thing where we were looking at what is possible, and now we sort of narrowed it down to a more or less simplistic version of what you may have seen in the previous webinars. We do have a diagram which we will show soon, so you'll be more familiar with what we have.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, let's share with the audience like what is that we are trying to achieve and where the technical challenges lie.
Right.
I mean,
So
today
yeah.
everybody is using different AIs for different integrations or chatbots and so forth, but still there is no easy solution for our needs. But yeah, let's clarify first what the problems are.
Yes, so the problems are pretty straightforward, is that most of the data is not located on the website, it's located in the documents. And the documents they can be as small as 2 pages, they can be as large as 600 pages, which we have also. Now, obviously, these 600 pages or however many, they have a lot of data that needs to be going through, and we have to understand that. And it's also in multiple languages because we are working on sources all across Europe, and so we have many languages, 20 languages that we have to go through, and we have to go through all the documents and see which information is important to us and which isn't. And so another issue here is how do we go through 50,000 auctions in a day and check if anything has changed, if anything if it is a new auction, if it is outdated auction, what has changed on the PDFs, what hasn't changed, whether an auction is has any one data point that is new or important to us. Obviously, this is predetermined, but the idea is to get that information out of the PDF and onto our website for everyone to see much more easily.
Awesome. So one problem is with the languages, jurisdictions. In 20 countries, there are 20 jurisdictions, tens of thousands of auctions per country per year, a large amount of auctions, large amount of property information, but also every auction. How many, on average, maybe what would you say, how many documentations there are for one particular auction?
Well, per auction, we are going through about 5 documents. Obviously, this depends
On
on the
average,
source.
it depends more on the country.
Exactly,
Some
yes.
countries
So,
have up to 10 PDFs, out of which some are purely images and some are catastrophe data and other stuff that is not as important. And some sites, for example, Germany, for most auctions, literally has one PDF with 2 to 10 pages of the most important data. That would be also one of the main challenges that we faced is the inconsistency in the data sources. We have to aggregate a lot of different kinds of unstructured data and try to form some sort of solution from it.
Right. Okay, so there are actually a couple of technical challenges there. And what have we tried so far? Like, and maybe where we are today, guys.
right. So, the general idea at first was to just read through all the documents with an LLM. Obviously, as we started doing that, we realized that many documents are actually scanned or unreadable. And so we realized, okay, we need something that is going to read those documents before the LLM and will print it out in any format that is readable for the LLM easily. So either a markdown format, which we have agreed upon in the end. We also did a TXT file, which was shown to be a bit ineffective. But as we progressed, we looked at many different file formats. Uh, in the end, the Markdown format, which contained the all the HTML and the PDF text that could be found in those documents slash website, and then that it can be given to the LLM to read. And so this began as I believe, three-stage a solution, which in the end turned into just 2 stages. So we began as the HTML reader, then the document reader. Uh, Actually, there was also the OCR in between. And finally, a fourth layer actually was the LLM and it giving us the output. And in the end, we found solutions by Microsoft and other open source projects, which have actually merged the first three into one. And we have found Marketdown by Microsoft, an open source project, and also Marker, which is another uh, open source project. So Marketdown is we use that for HTML conversion to .md files, and we use Marker for PDF document extraction. So whether that is text, OCR, whatever it is, Marker is designed so that it can take that information, all the text, and put it on also Markdown format, and then we just combine that.
Awesome, awesome. So, but in our collaboration with Tech Lab AI department with faculty of electrical engineering and computing here in Zagreb, um, what analysis have they conducted for us? Because I know you and them have been working on a couple of LLM models. What was the benchmark there, and which one have you ended up using, and why?
Yes, so originally, even before my time, the idea was to sort of create an LLM that would replace both OCR, both the HTML reading and everything, and to just feed it the HTML, and it would automatically be able to give us the JSON with the data included from the PDFs. This was obviously a little bit far-fetched. And as we moved with the project, we were narrowing down on the scope of the project and seeing exactly what we need. And so, in the end, I'm not gonna go through all the stages because there were probably 20 documents that they gave us, but somewhere along the middle, they gave us the idea for the marker document converter, which we did use. And very recently, they showed us the open source project by Microsoft, the Markdown, which we also ended up using. And so as far as the LLM goes, training the model itself also began as an idea about 2 years ago, I believe. But as time moved and as technology moved, during the last 2 years, we've seen a large boom of AI models, especially in Claude models, which are now considered one of the best models in the world. And since we are on AWS and we have easy access to those, we thought, shouldn't we maybe look into those models and see if they can give us a good output, right? And
Mm.
so we tested pretty much all available cloud models from versions 3 point something all the way to the newer ones like Sonnet 4.6 and of course Opus. As it turned out, when we were looking at cost to efficiency and performance, we realized that Cloud Haiku 4.6, I believe 4.6, is the best solution, and we are currently using that one.
Okay, okay. Maybe let's show them what we have in our. How does the pipeline look like today? And let's show the latest version.
Sure, let me just share my screen real quick. Okay, can you see this?
Yes, yes, yeah. Can you guide us through this?
Yes, of course. Like I said, we have two stages of our pipeline, and there is one stage, like a pre-stage, that feeds our pipeline with data. That would be the web scraper. Currently, we have 21 countries ready for data collection. And as you can see here, the web scrapers feed HTML and PDFs to certain parts of our pipeline. Also, there it immediately sends all images, PDFs, and the HTML straight to the database. Currently, for this database, we do use AWS S3 buckets. Well, one bucket, and I will demonstrate that as well. It is, as you can see, right here. I'll go into more detail later. And so the pipeline is these are the stages. So the first stage are these two boxes, and the second stage is the LLM Markdown extractor. So you can see that there is Markdown, marker, and the data concatenator, which you can think of as a single file. It really is a single file. So that is how it works. So the web scraper feeds the HTML into a Markdown extractor and the PDFs into a PDF extractor, the marker. And so both return respective Markdown files, and then they are concatenated and and they provide us with a single Markdown file underscore merge.md, as we call it, into our S3 bucket. From that, the second stage of the pipeline goes in right here, LLM Markdown extractor, which, like I said, we use Cloud Haiku 4.6 for this extraction. So what we do is we give the Markdown file. which contains the HTML markdown, the PDF markdown, and there is a very visibly separated what is from what is from HTML, what is from each PDF. So the LLM is able to extract our predetermined schema, which we have agreed upon across the company, which is around 150 data points, and the LLM's job is to secure to write down as many of those data points as it can find in the markdown file, which is essentially all the
It
information
fills out
available.
predetermined fields in the
Exactly, yeah.
schema.
So essentially, this is all the information available on the website, and it goes through all of it. And so once it finds all of it, it also adds the confidence rates, how certain it is that it has successfully uh, pulled the correct information. It also gives us the supporting text and the supporting document from which it pulled that information, uh, concatenate all of that in a single JSON file, and sends it to the database. Another thing that you can see here is the ORC and ETL. ORC is the orchestration that we use on S3. Um, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail there, but essentially we run this once a day. And on average, it takes about 2 to 4 hours to complete this entire pipeline for a single country. And the ETL is something that comes after this. We don't have this yet. This is to be done, but there is a lot of work to be here, like crime statistics, crime rates, air pollution, and many more stuff that can be found not on the auction websites. So this is the general idea of the pipeline. As you can see here in the S3 bucket, this is the where we feed all of it. You have the auctions that are currently being processed with the pipeline. You have auctions ready, which are prepared to go on the website, and auctions outdated, which are obviously, as the name says, outdated. And so if we go to auctions ready, let's say, you see we have 26 objects, but if we disregard these, then we have about 20 countries ready. So let's take Austria, for example, and let's take this auction. You can see here that we have the HTML, the images, PDF images, and the PDFs. These PDF images come from Marker, by the way. And so these HTML, the images, and the PDFs come from the scraper, from the web scraper. And then the first stage would be this manifest, which also shows us when it was scraped, what is outdated, what is new, and keeps track of this auction to see later if something has changed. And this JSON here is the output of the LLM. Maybe I can open this one as well. Let me do that just to show an example. So as you can see here, oh, actually this one is outdated. I should find a new one, but I can use this as an example. So this is the data that we have. This is what the LLM has found from our schema. And what we additionally have is inside each of these. So let me, so it's something like like this. So you would have more columns, more parts, which would be, let's say, value. It would be supporting text. It would be supporting document, and finally you would have confidence. And so these three give you these four would be for each of those 150 um, data points, and that's how we do it. And so after this you would go through an ETL procedure and then on the website. So this ETL procedure is the only thing that is missing. Another thing that we have is in the CloudWatch, you can see all the logs from all the web scrapers, each individual PDF, which is going through the marker, and you can see the LLM, how it's working and how many fails, how many successes it has, which ones are outdated, which ones are new, which ones are changed, which ones are not changed, and so on.
Awesome. Oh yeah, that's quite comprehensive. um, so in terms of the like markdown and markdown, how effective are those? How do you measure that?
Right. So I will explain the market downs, and I'll leave marker to Yakov because that's more of his domain. So market down is completely correct. So 100% correctness as far as we have seen so far. Um, because it only has to read from the HTML, right? So there is only a text that it has to go through and return only the readable text, and so it doesn't have any HTML encodings. You know how the HTML looks, so that there is no stuff like that. For example, yeah, marker is Yakov's domain, so you can do that.
Yeah, I'll just quickly go over Marker, why we use it, and some details. So Marker is an open source sort of module from Data Lab. You can find it on GitHub and implement it and use it. And what it does is it uses an internal LLM to basically search for the layout of a PDF document. And once it can sort of identify the layout, then it can create a structured document out of the unstructured original PDF. So it can completely distinguish what's an image and what's text, even though it is a scanned document. So it doesn't matter if it's an exported or a scanned document. It can tell whether something is an image or something is just scanned text. It also,
Or a table, even a table, right?
yes, I was about to mention, it can also detect tables, and it also spits out tables in in a more readable format, so it doesn't just copy the text from the cells and kind of just throws them all, concatenates them into the same like sort of string. It actually kind of like prints out a table so that it can also be easier to interpret both for manual checkups and for the LLM itself. And it uses also an internal OCR engine for scan documents. And overall, we had quite a lot of success with it. When we loaded it up on AWS, it also works quite fast. It can, I think, by benchmarks. Yeah, let me just find the benchmarks really quickly. Okay, so Marker usually it says it takes 2.84 seconds to process a document. Yeah, so it even has batch mode, so you can run it on parallel. You can like sort of implement parallelization to use more workers to run it in batch mode.
Simultaneously.
And it has a projected throughput of 25 pages per second, which is extremely fast considering how much data we need to process.
And
And
it
so
does it
it
on
is,
on any language in Europe.
yes. I mean, the Surya OCR itself has, I think, integrated 90 something languages. So that kind of helps, but it doesn't really need to be able to read multiple languages because all it is, it's text extractor. Text is going to look the same no matter the language. It's for the computer, it's just a bunch of symbols.
All right, yeah.
But
So
for the OCR, the
yeah.
Surya having the integrated languages into the LLM itself does help it sometimes create or will make less mistakes.
So at this stage, in the markdown and markdown, they do not recognize like values and addresses or make sense of the text. Correct?
Yes, this is
That
where the
happens
LLM
later.
comes in.
Okay, awesome. And does the LLM or first question, Yakov, do you have any delta right now with your project? Like any missing ingredient that you would like to see but has not been maybe tried out?
Personally, one thing I've had some troubles with is the markdown, the marker confidence rates. which I haven't really been able to implement, no matter how hard I tried, considering the OCR procedures. Because on some of the more kind of chaotic looking PDFs, um, where documents are primarily scanned and not exported, OCR isn't perfect. There is no such thing as a perfect OCR scanner for extraction. So I did get a request from our data analyst to try and implement confidence rates for the OCR itself, but I just could not have. I just wasn't able to implement it properly. So that's something that I could say that it's missing, because on some chaotic documents, for example, I think it was Slovakia documents which are scanned, the pages are also tilted, and it shows multiple pages inside of the same A4 predetermined area, and it kind of messes up because once again it reads the page, but it's tilted, and then it also takes up some of the other page that was scanned alongside it, and it can mess up the OCR sort of output in the end. But yeah, that's the only thing that's kind of missing. So we are not having the most accurate results when it comes to OCRing some of the more chaotic documents.
All right. Okay. So, but now we are coming to the, human in the loop necessity. As we know, all of the AI companies have humans reviewing and annotating the data and labeling them. I mean, there's no escape from that. So maybe, Renato, do you want to share, like, how do we envision that part to go ahead?
Yeah. So obviously, because we have such massive amounts of data and we cannot check them all, we have implemented what I have shown, the supporting text, supporting document, and the confidence rate, so that we can decide on a certain threshold where we are going to let the data go on the website. So let's say that the entire auction has, so this is not agreed upon, right? So now I'm just speculating, but let's say 95% is enough for the data to go on the website, and anything under that would go into manual checkup. And so because we have the supporting text, supporting document, and the value, we can immediately fix something if that is necessary, and that will be done on the BitSale partner app. Maybe you can show that yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
And so over there, you will see soon that uh, each auction can manually be checked with that supporting document and that supporting text, and then immediately you can fix any mistakes and push that auction on the website, sort of like approve it for the website. Yeah.
I'm sharing right now. Yeah. So yeah, the idea here would be that right now we are showcasing almost 3,000 auctions from Germany, and in the BitSale partner app, we are able to create, edit, amend any auction and any property within any region or a county, a municipality, or a country. This data can come from any public source, or even for our clients, we are preparing the data for their particular use case. So we have real estate agencies and other real estate property management firms who have their own data layer. So this allows them to come in, change the any value, everything from property type, location, listed pricings, auction date, return on investment, pictures, videos, blueprints, floor plans, legal documentation, such as liens, documents from insurance, and so forth. So basically, the partner app can then be managed through here, and then published live when it's ready. Same goes for properties and auctions as well. Um, so basically, what will happen here, what Renato was mentioning, there is gonna be and I'm gonna show that in the video later on. Uh, there's gonna be a human in the loop process where from the S3 bucket that Renato was showing, user will determine if the quality of the data point is correct or not. If it's 100% correct, the person will click approve or disapprove, and then it will be shown to the user, end user. So this is the this is now the BitSale investor app. So all the auctions that we have pre-approved in the Germany, for example, are now appearing here, with the timeline of the auction, with images, with the auction details, and only the high quality data will be present here. So here we are also pulling the information on the micro locations, such as proximity to points of interest, colleges, schools, museums, gyms, restaurants, everything that is in a nearby proximity, which has been a big request from our customers, because many of them are not knowing the particular micro location or neighborhood, so they want to analyze objective data points remotely without having a need to travel back and forth, invest time and money in order to determine if they will participate in the auction. So that's what we have today. Anything I missed, Renato?
I think that's it. You can, yeah.
Okay, great.
For what
So
we have right now, I would also say that you covered
yeah.
everything.
And maybe before we finish, guys, what would you say where our next steps lie? What is our biggest
Yeah.
objectives in terms of engineering, AI engineering? We have a plan on the RAG system. Maybe you can tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, sure. Well, obviously, like I said, the main bridge that is missing, the only thing that is missing really, is the ETL procedure. So the way I envision the bridge is sort of like two parts. There is the human in the loop, which is more of like a verification system, which is being worked on right now, and then there is the ETL, which we don't know how much we should expand on it because we haven't really started on it yet. And so there is a big, well, either a little or a big gap here, which is for whoever's going to work on it to find out, right? As far as reg goes, we have also been working on that quite
Can you tell
extensively.
us what it is? What it is, maybe for those who don't know.
Certainly. So, a multimodal RAG or multimodal retrieval augmented generation chatbot is a type of model that is answering your questions only based on the data that it has been provided. In our case, that would be data from the S3 bucket. And so, if you ask any questions to that chatbot about the auctions, it will be able to answer only with the data found inside this the bucket, the data that that we have provided. Um, and so it is restricted to only that. So the current state of that is that it is more or less in the early stages of the chatbot communication. Now that we have the data, we have actually quite recently finished the pipeline, and now that we have around 25 to 35,000 auctions in the ready status and many more in the outdated, we know that we can test it extensively, which we're about to do, and we have to check how it works on different countries, different languages, whether it can present all of that in a unified language, such as, let's say, English, or any chosen language that we prefer. Whether it can do the retrieval properly, whether it can connect that which it has retrieved to the document and the supporting text which from which it has been found, and of course that it can converse in a natural language. So this is the plan for the next 1 to 2 months. I would say 1.5 month, and then after that we would look into extensively testing it for probably about 2 weeks to see on various other data. And then after all of that is done, we will look into the incorporation, the deployment, that is, to connecting it to the AWS and of course the website bidsell.ai.
Right. Awesome. So that's the rug. And how many data points you said we have right now? You mentioned in the S3 buckets,
Yeah. So
20 countries.
so
Yeah.
20 there are 20 countries. There are 150 data points per auction. There are 25 to 35,000 active auctions. So do the math yourself. I don't know how much that is. Certainly more than, I would say, 10 million data points, which are currently which are being shown, or less if the LLM has found less than 150 per auction.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a lot of data to work with. Yeah, so I would say what we are now in a need of is the ETL engineers, ETL specialists to work with AWS infrastructure, open source technologies. Definitely, with this amount of data, we need data scientists and data analysts as well to help us with visualization, statistics, simulations, and so forth. Then also, yeah, AI engineers as well to help you guys out. I mean, we have more than 30 countries in Europe, so lots of work. The ground foundations have been done in an amazing way, thanks to you guys, among other, VendueTech stuff. So yeah, if anyone is interested, let us know. We'll leave the link below. Anything else we missed you guys want to share? Why should somebody consider joining us from, PhD or engineering background or, enthusiasts?
I think for a newcomer, Yakov, you should give your own opinion since you have been here the shortest.
Well, I would say that the potential is huge. This is a completely new product on a market that has been existing for a while, and data has been piling up without anyone really trying to make something out of it. So I would say purely for the potential for discovering something completely new in a field that really needs a redo is a pretty good starting point.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah. Speak soon. All the best with the ongoing projects.
Yeah, thank you.
Many
Thank
thanks.
you, guys.
Thank you.